Ahoy! This is the third and the final episode of the How to Build Your Character video series. Now that the basics and every part of your equipment is covered, a few other things to consider and some advice. First of all, there's the question of character and account binding items. Basically, any item that is dropped in a dungeon is going to be character binding if you equip it. That means two things. For one, you can't sell it to other players anymore unless you pay a fortune and take a lot of risk with unbinding stones. And for two, you can't use extreme upgrade on them. Therefore, I would suggest that you not buy anything character binding that costs more than what you're willing to throw away later on. For example, a set of palladium items with 7% amp for like 30 million per part is a good investment because it will make your farming a lot easier for a while, and it pays back quite soon in most cases. However, if you're thinking about buying a set like that to make it plus 15 yourself and fill it with amp scrolls and whatnot later, well, I think you should forget that. From the moment you equip it, you won't be able to hand it over to other players to buy upgrade service, for example. So either get it to plus 15 and put some extreme upgrade on it before equipping, or don't plan that much ahead. Extending the slots of your items, which usually first appears on helmets and weapons, makes those items account binding. That means you can still sell them later to other players, but keep in mind that it will cost you a small fortune to seal them, and for the buyer to unseal them, which means that basically almost 2 vouchers go to waste on both sides. In Europe that's about 500 million Oz, or more like 700, but you will have some leftover cash. Also remember that if your item is character binding and you extend it, it will still be the same and you will still have to use unbinding stone first to make it account binding and then a seal stone to make it tradable. Regarding titles, in my opinion the best titles you can get are the ones for honor rank in PvP and the ones for combined level achievements everywhere else. I honestly believe your goal should be to reach the highest honor rank and get the 1000 level achievement at least as soon as possible once you're nearing level 200. The title for honor rank 20 gives you a bunch of health and resistance stats which are just what you need for mission wars. And the combined level title gives you damage reduction and accuracy which are invaluable for every class. You may need to expand the 7th and even the 8th character slots, however. Either you can make 5 more characters of the same class just so you can use your main character's gear on them, or try different classes just for fun. Anyway, that's something you shouldn't worry about until you have a decent set, but unfortunately there isn't really any other useful title around unless you finish like 3000 runs of a dungeon or so. Let's talk about the merit system. First of all, if you don't know what it is, check out the video description for a guide. Now, many people underestimate merit and only care about the penetration part of that, and considering that even that takes months of warfarming to fill, they ignore even that. However, let me show you just how awesome it is. For example, I have 460 penetration, 61 of that came from merit, so without it I would have less than 400. Now 60 compared to 400 is around 15%, and that's something you get for farming only. You don't have to spend any Oz on it. Or let's see defense rate. Merit gives almost 1.3k, which compared to the 7.4k I have now means nearly 20% of my defense rate is from merit. It would take a whole palladium set at plus 20 to make up for that, and I'm farming Glacius Inferno and Tower of the Dead B3F with Terror Grace set thanks to that. I won't even mention damage reduction, attack rate and accuracy. It's just incredible how rewarding merit system is. So if you also think it's useless, I hope I change your mind. I think it's definitely worth participating a couple of mission wars a day just for that. If nothing else, then for the honor points you get. It's very likely you will be honor rank 20 at 100% before you max even one merit tree. As for how to progress with it, most people consider penetration the best, and I agree with them too, so you should probably start with that. If you aren't a fan of mission wars, then your goal will be to reach the expand skills at the end of each tree. For that, you don't need to level up everything on your way to the maximum. In fact, it's best if you just level them up as high as you need to unlock the next skill and just go on. Useless things like additional damage, ignore accuracy and so on should be left as low as possible, and the things you expand and want to focus on should be maxed after the expansion skills. And last but not least, the Overlord levels. Once you reach level 200, your XP will be directed towards Overlord levels. Let me show you what the best way to progress is, in my opinion. First of all, in the attack tab, you're going to want to focus on critical damage. You can finish critical damage 1 until level 10 and critical damage 2 until level 20 if you save your points. And after that, the next very important thing is at level 40, so you've got a few points to spend on other things. In my opinion, all attack up 1 and on the defense 3, defense 1 and damage reduction 1 should be your goal. Those are the things that make the most significant difference. After you reach all level 40, you should put your points on ignore resist critical rate, because that basically means plus 5% critical rate in PvP and in awakened dungeons. And after that, it's up to you. Just go for whatever your character is missing. For example, I felt like I was too paper in PvP, so I went for resistance stats, but if you need attack rate and accuracy, go for that. Well, these videos have been quite lengthy, and yet I tried to keep them at the minimum to make up for the name of my YouTube channel. If there's anything that's unclear, that I forgot to talk about, or that you disagree with, the comments are open for everyone. Nonetheless, I hope you found them useful. If you found this video helpful, please consider sharing it or subscribing to my channel. Ahoy!